Alright, now the last major thing we have to do is create an organizational chart. And for this we're going to use SmartArt. So that's in the appendix. So we want the appendix to actually be its own section because we need to put the org chart on a landscape page instead of a portrait formatted page. So we go after here and we go to layout and we go to a break and we go to section break. Alright, now the appendix is still using the same header because this header now is linked to the previous, which is fine for it. So now we go here, and since this is a separate section, we can format this page separately. So we go here, and once again we can so now that we have this as a separate section, we can format it separately. We can go to layout, we can go to page orientation and say landscape, so the paper is actually laying on its side. And this is going to be titled Maricopa County Organizational Chart. And you have the example of that in the project example, so I'm going to look at that. And we are going to create this organizational chart. So we put our cursor in here, we go to Insert, and we go to SmartArt. SmartArt allows you to do all sorts of types of graphics and charts and that show process and hierarchy and relationships. We're going to hierarchy and we're just going to take a basic organizational chart. We say OK. So now what we can do is just start adding text. We know that our first one is Board of Supervisors. And you can see that the text actually auto sizes as we go along with adding things. And so we have the Board of Supervisors here. And over here, as an assistant to the Board of Supervisors, is Internal Audit. And then on the other side of the side is kind of an assistant to the board is Clerk of the Board. Now we don't have a square there for that. So we can right click on our Select Board of Supervisors box, right click on that, and go to Add Shape, and we want to add an assistant. So it puts the assistant in there, and that assistant is Clerk of the Board. Okay, from here now, we want to have a county manager, and that county manager has 3 people that report to them. So what we need to do here, in essence, is delete. You click on the edge, delete that box, delete this box, and then click here, and this becomes county manager. From here now, the county manager actually has 3 people that report to them. So it says add shape. We add a shape after. We add a shape. Oh. So now we have a county manager, and we have to add a shape below the county manager. That's 1. Then go to the county manager, add a shape below, and then if we add 1 more, we now have the county manager with 3 people reporting to him. Now it's not quite the same layout as we have in the example, but we'll work through that. That will adjust itself as we move along. So, reporting to county manager is the deputy manager. And we do want to make sure we spell and capitalize things correctly. Deputy manager, we have the assistant manager, and we have the administrator. Okay. Administrator. Alright, now the deputy manager has 3 people that report to him. So we add a shape below him. And now this is, then we go back here. Deputy manager, add shape below. And add shape below. That looks good. Go to the assistant manager, add shape below, go back up, add shape below, and add shape below. Now, another way we could do this is if we double click on the frame, click on this arrow. Another way we can do this is if we click on this arrow over on the side, we can see our hierarchy here, and we can actually add our text here if we wanted to. The deputy manager, correctional health. We click down to the next one, and this is OMB, and then we have public health. And then for the assistant manager, we have air quality, QALITY. We have flood control, and we have real estate. Okay, so now we have administrator. Now, we don't have any boxes below the administrator right now, but if we hit enter below the administrator, it creates a box next to the administrator. But if we then go and hit the tab key, it creates that box below, and that one's called animal care, right? And then if we hit it again, we have creates another one, and we call that library. So there's our org chart. Now, if we want, we can change the colors. The theme we did here is we colored in the example, we colored the levels of the hierarchy different colors, so we can try that here. And we can have our choice of colors. Alright, and so that is our hierarchy chart. We can just have space there. And then the other thing we have here is that we want to include, now that we're at the bottom of the document, we want to include a link to take us to the table of contents so that it would be easier to navigate through the document once we get to the bottom. So if you remember, we're going to insert a link, right? Only this time, the link is going, we're going to insert a link, it's going to be placed in this document. Alright? And we can just go to the top of the document. And so we're going to say, the text will say go to the top of the document. And our screen tip here this time is go to the beginning. Okay, and we say OK and OK. So now we say Control click,